Hello amazing artists, this is Mr. D, and for this video we are going to create a puppy puppet. So the materials that you will need for this video are right there on the screen. You will need some yarn or string, you will need some scissors, you will need 2 popsicle sticks. I've got the jumbo big popsicle sticks, but if you just have the regular ones then that's fine. You will need 5 bendy straws, you will need 2 empty toilet paper rolls, you will need 2 googly eyes, and if you don't have googly eyes, you can always draw the eyes on. You will need some glue or some glue stick. You will need construction paper, just a single sheet, and you will need a hole punch. Now, you may be able to get a hole into your toilet paper rolls by using a pencil, but you will need an adult to help you with that, okay? So you can go ahead and look for those items or have an adult help you find those items, and then you can pause the video and come back when you're ready. But for those of you that already have those items, let's go ahead and get started. Now, the puppy puppet is going to be a mixed media artwork. That's because we've got different materials that we're using. So we're not just using like paint to create a painting. If a painting that's made just from paint is not a mixed media art because you're only using one medium to create that artwork. But before us, we've got a lot of different materials that we're going to use. So we've got some media that we're going to use for our piece of art, and they are all different. So we've got some yarn, that's one material we're using. We've got popsicle sticks, another material. We've got straws, we've got toilet paper rolls. So we're using more than one art medium, therefore it's called a mixed media artwork. We're also going to discuss the principle of design known as movement. Now this can mean how an artist uses lines and different elements of art to draw a viewer's eye throughout the artwork, but it can also mean that your artwork shows some action or some movement, and our puppy puppet we're going to be able to move and show movement in, okay, or show movement by using. So let's go ahead and get started. What I want to do first is I'm going to create the thing that we're going to control the puppy puppet with. So we're going to make like an X out of our popsicle sticks or a plus sign. And what I want to do is I want to tie that plus sign together using my yarn. So I'm going to get out some yarn. I'm going to cut, whoops, if I can get my scissors, I'm going to cut a piece off like this, and we're going to use it to tie our popsicle sticks together. So I'm going to round it out like that. Then I'm going to use this side of the string to go this way. Maybe go this way again. And then we're going to tie, if I can get this string to go through the center of at least those 2 strings. There we go. That will help it stay in place more. And if I can get this one to go through that string, it will help it stay in place some more. And now let's just tie a knot. Let's move that one in a little bit more. And let's tie another knot. Let's double knot it. Let's actually triple knot it just to make sure that it's going to stay in place. So there's 2 knots. And then I'm going to make one more knot to make sure that it has a triple knot, which is 3 knots. And after I do that, I can cut off whatever I have left right there. So I'm just going to cut not too close to the knot because I don't want it to come apart. But I'm going to cut it. And now we've got this popsicle stick, which we're going to be able to use to move our puppy with. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to take a toilet paper roll, and I need one of my toilet paper rolls to be a little shorter because one is going to be the face. So I'm going to take this one. This one's going to be the body. This one's going to be the face. So I'm going to take this one, just cut a little bit down the middle, and when I get it just a little bit shorter, I may have to cut it down the middle on the opposite side too. I'm just going to start trimming it. And if your toilet paper rolls, if one of them is already shorter than the other one, then you can just go ahead and use what you have without cutting it down. But mine were both the same size, so I'm going to have to cut one of them and make it shorter. Remember to watch your fingers, and if you're one of the younger students, K through 2, you may want to have an adult help you with cutting this. Okay, that's probably good, just like that. So we've got one that's shorter. What we're going to do is we're going to take our hole punch, and near the top we're going to clip a little hole. Then we're going to turn it on the other side, opposite of it, and clip another little hole. So we've got a hole there on that side and a hole on this side. You may be able to do it with a pencil, but you need to have an adult help you with that. Okay? And if you don't know how to use a hole punch, then have an adult help you with that as well. So after we do that, we're going to glue on our googly eyes so that they can be sitting. Before we do our googly eyes, let's actually do the ears. So I'm going to take my piece of construction paper. I'm going to fold it in half because that way I'll be able to do 2 ears at once. And if you want to go ahead and draw out your ears before you cut it, that's fine. I'm just going to cut mine. So I'm going to cut it almost like a teardrop shape, except the top is not going to be pointy. It's going to be a straight horizontal line going across the top of it instead of a pointy tip. So just like that. And then what I will do is I'm going to glue these ears to the toilet paper roll that's shorter, that's going to be the head, but I'm not going to cover up that hole. I don't want to cover up the hole. So I'm going to take my glue. I'm not going to glue the entire ear, just the little top part right there. And after I glue that top part, I'm not going to cover the hole, but on the side right there, I'm going to stick my first ear. And I'll probably have to hold it for a minute because I don't want it coming undone, so I'm just going to hold it. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the other ear. I'm going to let that one rest right there. And I'm going to take the other ear, put some glue there at the top of it, and then pick this toilet paper roll back up. And on this side, I'm going to glue the second ear. Remember, I'm going to have to hold it down for a little bit to make sure that it sticks and stays. Now this ear's coming up a little bit, so I'm just going to take the glue on the very edge right there, and I'm going to hold it inside of the toilet paper roll and outside and press in like that. And hold it for a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing for this side. I'm going to hold it. So once I've got both of the ears glued on, I'm going to go ahead and glue on the eyes, and then we'll let it sit and rest because the eyes will take a little bit of a longer time to stay stuck. So I'm just going to glue the back of one of the eyes, and then I'm going to bring it over and put it right about there in front of my ear. And again, I'm holding the inside of the tube and the outside, and I'm just pressing down my eye. The back of the eyes usually have a slick surface, so it's harder to attach it with glue. That's why I'm going to hold it down for a little bit longer than I did for my ears. Okay, I'm going to let go, and I'm going to go ahead and glue the other ear down. So make sure I've got a good amount of glue on the back of the, eye, and place it sort of where I did, except on the other side as the first eye. And I'll continue to hold down that first eye too with my other hand. I'll hold down the eye I just glued with one hand and hold the first eye that I glued down with the other hand. Okay, so I think I'm going to let that rest now because I need for those eyes to dry. So I'm going to lay it flat on top, or to where it's facing upward like that, to let the eyes sort of dry. And now we will work on the body. So we're going to take this piece of toilet paper roll, and we're going to have 2 holes right here at the top, and then 4 holes on the bottom. So right here on the top, we're going to click 1 hole, go to the opposite side, click the other hole. So I've got my 2 holes there at the top. Then this is where his legs are going to go down on the bottom. So on the bottom, let's see, I'm going to turn it, and 1 hole is going to go on that side, and another where his other leg is going to go on that side. I'm going to turn it around, 1 hole that side, and again 1 hole that side. So I've got 4 holes at the bottom, 2 holes at the top. Okay? Now we're going to take our foldy bendy straws, and we are going to cut right here where it bends. We're going to cut just right there, and we're going to do that for all of them. Right where it bends, we're going to cut it. We can clear off those, and we can clear off our scissors because we won't really need those anymore. And I don't believe that we'll really need our hole punch anymore either, so I'm going to move it. So while the eyes are still drying, let's go ahead and create our strings, or tie our strings from our popsicle sticks to the base of the puppy, only the back part of the puppy. So let's go ahead and get some string. So that length should be good. I'll get my scissors, cut right there. I may want it just a little bit longer because I forgot I'm going to have to tie it at the top. So let's make it just a little bit longer. Okay, right like that. So we're only going to tie the string to two ends of this, okay? So right here, I'm going to go ahead and tie the string to this end. You're probably going to triple knot it. So you want to make sure it's tight so that it won't slide off. Then we're going to tie another knot. And then let's tie one more knot so that it will be triple knotted, just to make sure it stays on. So it's triple knotted, so now I can go ahead and cut off the little piece that's left right there. And if you want to, just to make sure that it doesn't move, because mine is still a little loose, we can put a little bit of glue down on the popsicle stick and then slide the yarn over that part of the glue. So I'll put a little bit of glue there and a little bit of glue there. Then let's slide the yarn over the glue and press down on both sides. Okay, after I've done that, I'm going to take this other end of the string and we're going to go to the back part of our body, but not the side that has the two holes. We're going to go to the side that just has one hole, and we're going to put our string through that, tape it, and the tape will make it bulkier and harder for it to fit through the knot. So see, if I taped it like this, let's add one more piece of tape. That should not fit through that hole anymore. See, there we go. So we've got the first side put together. While the face is still drying, let's go ahead and put the two back legs together. So what we're going to do, let's see, this may be a big enough string for us to just cut the center of it and have the two different legs. We're going to go ahead and bend it like this so that it looks like a foot, and we may even cut a little bit off of this taller side. Whoops. So just like that, we're going to put string through it, or our yarn through it. You may want to go ahead and unbend it first and put your yarn through it, and then you can bend it back. And there it comes. So we're going to pull it through, and then we'll just do the same thing with our tape. We'll pretend the tape is our part of his shoes. So don't cover up the flexy part with it. I just took my string and stuck it to the tape, and now we're just going to fold the tape around to make it look like it's like the dog's foot, or like he has little shoes on. So now that string is stuck to the bottom, and this other string, all we need to do, let's go ahead and do that, is stick it up through, you see these two holes that we have in the bottom? The same side where we put that string a minute ago on the top, we're going to flip it, and on that same side, we want to put this string. So let's just go ahead and we'll fold it in half like this, and then just go ahead and put some tape around it. And let's wrap just a little bit more tape to make sure that it can't fit through that hole. Let's go ahead and actually fold this tape that we just wrapped around it in half. That will make it bigger to where it will be harder to fit through there. Whoop. Wrap it in half, or fold it in half again. And then we've got that first leg right there. Next we're going to do the second leg. So I'm going to take one of these. Again, I want to cut a little bit off of there. And then we're going to take this piece of yarn. Remember, unbend it. It will be easier to stick the yarn through it. We're going to place it down through the straw until it comes out the other side. And when it does, we're just going to fold the other side back onto the straw and tape it down. And that will be like the foot to our puppy. So now we can curve it like that and stick it through the second hole on the bottom. And then we're just going to tape it just like we did the other side a minute ago. So I'm going to just wrap my tape around it. And after my tape is wrapped around it, I'm going to fold it in half and add some more tape so that it has a harder time coming undone. So fold it in half. And then I'm going to fold it in half again just to make it harder to fit through that hole. So there we go. I now have two legs on that side. Let's go ahead and so these pieces of tape don't come out like that. Let's go ahead and stick them to the inside right there. So I'm just going to stick it down to where it won't come out. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Tape the other side down so that it cannot come undone. And we'll actually even do that with the top part. We'll tape the top part down as well. So far I've got the thing that I'm going to control my puppet with. I've got the two hind legs. Let's go ahead and create the two front legs. And I think I found an easier way for us to create the front legs. So let's just cut off one big string. And let's do this, or try this. Let's go ahead and stick the other side that has two holes. Let's go ahead and stick the big long string through the first hole, and then stick it out, coming out of the second hole. So we'll do that, and then we'll put it into our straws. I think that's going to work better. Remember to cut off these extra pieces that we won't really need. So let's stick our first string right here through, and there it is. So let's go ahead and tape the string to the straw after we bend it. We don't want to tape the part that bends. Now we want for the legs to be the same size as the back legs, so let's go ahead and get this to where it's the same size. So let's go ahead and cut some of this string because we know we won't need all of that. We probably still won't need all of that either, but let's go ahead and put this side through this straw. Go ahead and get our tape ready, but first we want to make sure it's the same length as the back one. So that one's about the same length, and we want this one to be up to about right there. So let's go ahead and bring this straw, or that yarn, up to there, and go ahead and tape it to the straw. And the little bit of yarn that's sticking out, we can just cut. Okay, so now we have the legs. We've got the two front legs, we've got the two back legs, and we've got the part that's going to control the puppet. So let's get a long string, so we can always make it shorter. And let's go ahead and tie it. Now see how I have this side of string tied to it? We want to tie it on the opposite side, not on these two sides, but on this side. So I'm going to take my string, we're going to triple knot it again. So I'm going to tie a knot and tighten it. Then I'm going to tie another knot after it's tightened, and tie a third knot. And so that doesn't come undone, let's go ahead and add some glue there like we did with this side. So I'm going to scoot that piece of yarn back, add some glue on that side, add some glue on that side, and then I'm going to roll my yarn back to where the glue was that I just put down, and I'm going to hold it, press it against that glue. Okay, and after it's pressed down, this side is going to come down, and we're not going to attach it to this. We're going to attach it to the head. So let's about halfway from the pink. So if I would, the halfway mark of this pink, if it were right there, I'm going to go right here to where that halfway mark of the pink was, and then just cut that part off. I also want to cut off the extra string that we don't really need here at the top. And now we're going to take this, we're going to put it through the top of the dog's head, and then all we're going to do is add some tape once it's through the head to tape it down. Make sure it won't move anymore. So we're going to press both sides, and now it's stuck to where it will not move. Now all we have to do is we have to attach a string from the bottom of the head to the body. Let's try this string that we already have cut. So I'm going to stick it through the bottom of the head, then grab some tape, and tape the string down against the toilet paper roll. Now I've just got this part that I've got to take and put through the whole of the body. And once it's through the whole of the body, we want to hold this up to make sure it's about the same length. Let's go ahead and cut off some of this yarn and attach the string with a piece of tape. And now we have our very own puppet puppy. And you can control him with this little thing up here so he can walk like that. If you would like, you can add some spots on him. I'll go ahead and do that for those of you that would like to do that. So again, I've got my folded paper that I didn't throw away. And I'm just going to create 2 circles by just cutting out 1 circle from my folded paper. And then what I'll do is I'll put my glue on one side, decide where on my puppy I want the spot. I'm going to say right there. So I'm going to have to hold both ends down because it's going to want to come up, and since the toilet paper roll is curved, I'm going to hold both of the ends down. And then for my other spot, I may put it over there, so I'm going to put some glue on it. And after the glue is on it, I'm going to stick it right about there. So I'm going to hold both ends down again. And keep holding the first spot that I put down. So now he's got 2 spots. And right here on his nose, we could just create a little triangle. So I'm just going to unfold because I don't need 2. I'm going to create a little triangle for our puppy's nose. And I'll just glue that down. So I've got this little nose. I'm going to glue it, or put glue on it, especially the corners. Then I'm going to come down here and glue it to my puppy's face just like this. Now I can add some little dots beside his nose. So like right here I may put 1, 2, 3 dots. And then over here I'll do the same. I put 1, 2, 3 dots. So now my puppy is completely finished. So there's my puppy. I'll put on another video at the end of this video showing you the side view of the puppy. But everybody have an awesome rest of your day, and goodbye. So here is my puppy puppet, like the side view. And so it's a mixed media artwork because we used a bunch of materials combined to create one piece of art. And our art shows movement because we can tilt the popsicle sticks and create movement in our artwork. Okay? And your viewer's eye is drawn to the puppy as he moves. So I hope that everybody has an awesome rest of your day, and goodbye.